Hello, this is Sara with the teen department. So today we're going to do a DIY duct tape backpack charm. So you will need several things. So we've got some scissors to cut our embroidery thread. Embroidery thread, you can get that at Walmart. A single hole puncher. Duct tape, you can also get that at Walmart. A template, I just looked online on Pinterest, I believe, but you could probably Google and found an owl template. These are collapsible eye needles to be used with the embroidery thread, because if you try to thread a regular needle with the embroidery thread, it's too thick. Some keychains that have the regular keychain and then a hook at the top to hook that to the backpack. An assortment of beads, you can get those at Walmart. And then this tool here, which is used with the eyelets, these right here. And this is what gives it a little bit more reinforcement rather than just using a hole punch by itself and putting the thread through to make it last a little longer. I also used cardstock for the paper instead of plain paper to make it a little bit thicker. Also, if you want to put the duct tape on both sides, you're more than welcome to do that. I just did it on one, but if it flips on your backpack, you might want to have it on both so that both sides match. And so the first thing you do is take your cardstock and trace out your template and then cut that out with your scissors. And then what you'll do is use your duct tape. So I did it lengthwise on here and it overlaps a little bit. There's a little bit of a crease there. And like I said, you can do it on the back as well if you want. And I believe what I did actually is put the duct tape on there before I cut out the template. So I made the template. Sorry, let me back up. I put the duct tape on the cardstock. Then I use the template on top of that, then cut that out. Otherwise, you're going to have to cut off excess duct tape. So that's the first step. Then what I did is this part with the hole. So I took the hole punch and punched a hole. And then these right here, you use the tool with that. And so the way you do it is you put a piece through the hole, and then you take the little rings and you put that on top of it. And then you use this tool here to punch that, and what it does is it makes the smaller piece and the bigger piece condense down until it's flat. You may also have to hammer a little bit because sometimes the top ring sticks up a little bit, so you may have to hammer it down a little bit with just a hammer, and that's fine. And then also, as far as the embroidery thread, it said about 6 inches of thread is what you need to use. So what I did is took the collapsible eye needle and threaded my embroidery thread like I would a needle. And then I just took that needle and put it through each bead, and that pulled the thread through. So I just did an assortment of beads on there. Then after that, you want to tie off your embroidery thread. So you take it and you put it through your hole, and I did like 2 or 3 knots at the top just to make it really secure, and then just cut the excess thread. You also make sure that you put your embroidery thread through your keychain. Should be the first step before you start putting beads on. Otherwise, you're not going to have a way to do that. So you just overlap it and then you start putting your beads on. So that is the DIY backpack charm, and see you next time.